Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my channel. My name is Frank. Today we're talking about the MK85. So I need to talk about a couple things. I'm very mad. I'm annoyed, I'm mad, I'm deterred, aggravated. The suit's coming together. I'm still working on it. I have a lot done. I'm starting to run into problems, and it's been hard to kind of talk about them and explain a lot of them, but I don't want to hide them from you guys, because if you're following this build series and you're trying to use this as a guide on what to look out for, I want you guys to know the mistakes that I've made, the problems I'm running into, and how to avoid them, because this is kicking my ass. And they're all stupid little things, but there's just a lot of them. So it's really kind of just like deterring me from the whole situation, but I want to finish the suit. And also the perfectionist in me is just like, my OCD, and I want it to be perfect. So every little thing I'm finding wrong, I want to take my time to fix it, but then my mind starts racing and I'm like, I gotta fix this, I gotta fix that, I gotta fix this, and it all piles up. So the pieces individually of the suit are done. Putting it all on together, proving a little difficult. And I have everything laid out right now. Obviously it's not on the armor stand. And I also am gonna I want to cover a bunch of little things that I kind of realized I never went into depth with on the previous update build videos. How certain things are attached, giving you a little bit better look at my harness and my strapping system, and things I might do differently. So this is going to be a little bit of a long one. I have a lot to talk about. As I'm recording it, if it hits the 20-minute mark, I might break it into a 8.5 and update video 8 and 8.5. That probably might be best because there is a lot to talk about. So let's look around, and I'll get to explaining what's going wrong. So here we have basically my entire MK85 laid across the room, just fine. Wait for the camera. There's some things. I'll kind of start in sections. All right, so basically my mobility in the arms isn't where I want it to be. The shoes, actually, I can't really say much about the shoes. The shoes work. I just have to finish those. I'm still working on the new helmet. There are some issues with that. The legs are being a little bit of a problem because they've shifted due to the new Codpiece, and I had to make the new Codpiece because the old Codpiece wasn't working. The chest and the back actually aren't that bad. Again, it's just kind of finishing it and getting things to strap and wrap around. So first off, let's talk about the hands. One thing a lot of people have been asking me is how this hand topper is attached to the back here. And I can't remember if I covered it exactly, but basically, this is the free Mark 6 hand from Thingiverse, which I love the design of. It's just low poly, and I talk about that in some of my other videos. And you can see the lines on it, you can see the angles and edges, and with some sanding I was able to get rid of a lot of that low poly feature. However, it still bugs me. There isn't as much room in here as I'd like, and then these fingers were some of the first things I actually made. So what I've gone and done is I printed all new hands. Now these hands are going to get swapped out, but I'm going to incorporate a lot of the same tech that I did in this. Back here, it's a little buckle, and up here is the male side, and this is the female side. Now it's on a little bit of an elastic strap. This way, as you pull and it moves and bends and flexes, it actually has a little bit of give. Now this hand prints with a whole back plate right here. I left it off because it gets covered. And then what I can do is I can actually slide my hand up in there. It locks in the clip. And now the hand topper is completely free to move. I can lift it up, it can move, it can wobble, and that give, I like that, because when the forearm's there, it can slide back. It's attached to the hand, not the forearm, and I have complete free range of movement. Now I'm still going to use this hand topper, but these hands have always bugged me. I don't like them. I didn't sand them. There's layer lines. They're not nice. So I'm going to be swapping these out. For the hinged DO 3D set, now this one was printed at 100%, and it's really tight and really small. So I actually went and printed another one at 110%. Unfortunately, it's buried in my box of Star Boost parts, but this hand topper or palm actually fits perfectly. If I wasn't gonna put any electronics in this and I just wanted the best fitting Ironman hand, this one's perfect. I just don't have the dexterity, and obviously running electronics in this is gonna be a little bit of a problem. And I can't actually make a good fist with it because my knuckles hit the back. The 110% one fits just fine. So this is actually gonna be my new hand because it's gonna be a little bit easier to put on and take off. And then the hand, I actually might cut this apart and modify this, but basically I'm making a new hand. And I printed out a bunch of new fingers, and these ones came out way friggin' better than my original ones. They just need a little bit of sanding. I was able to get rid of some of the low poly lines, and I actually might even get rid of these ones and try the free high poly hands that DO3D just released. So more to come on that. But that's how my hand works, and then the fingers are just held together with elastic straps. I'm not going over the electronics because that's another thing that's been bugging me about this suit. I'm basically gutting the entire electronic system. As I've built this, I've learned more. Reed switches, Hall effect switches. And we're not moving to Arduinos yet, that's for Star Boost, but there's a lot, I have to fix things, and there's gonna be a whole other update video about that and tutorials about that, but I'm not happy with the electronics. I have to add some things. I was premature on it, and we're having issues, so I'm gonna be gutting that. Now, the forearms have always been pretty much basic and simple, and you can see the trigger here, that when I actually flick my wrist, it activates the repulsor in the palm, and that's wired up in series with this little trigger. This is another little electronic thing that I kind of want to rework. It works great on the non-Infinity Stone arm, but it doesn't really work too well on the Infinity Stone side, just because I put the switch in the wrong way, and the hand topper sits differently because it has the stones on it, so when I rock my wrist back, it doesn't quite hit. So I got to fix that. I got to reposition that. What I am working on, though, is this thing. I kind of showed this in the last video, how when I bend my arm back, it touches. That still needs to get installed. No big deal. One big problem I'm having, though, is the biceps. And I'm actually trying out a magnetic wrist strap system, or magnetic strap system. And there's two magnets placed on the sides of these that actually clip, and you can hear them contact. And hopefully what this does is this helps hold it up my forearm, or up my bicep. And I'm gonna actually go and then attach this. I'm still working out a way to hold the bicep up. Originally it was free floating and it just floated on the forearm, but that's actually not working out too well, and I don't like that. So I need to ditch that idea, because it sits there pretty nicely actually, but it starts to slide down, and as I'm moving and bending my arm, it starts to contact. So it looks great at rest, but if I want dexterity and motion, I need to have it a little bit higher up so I can actually move and flex my arm a little bit. And then I have a cool little strap system devised for the elbow, just to kind of open the elbow up. Unfortunately, it does make a pretty big gap, but I do have a red morph suit, red lycra morph suit. This was like 20 bucks on Amazon to go on under this. And it is a pretty close color. I actually don't think I could have got that any better. And it'll hopefully help hide a lot of those seams. But really, you're only ever going to see it from the front, and it won't be too bad. This will all be covered up. The shoulders do a good job covering up the side. But with this sliding down and contacting, it starts to pinch, and it just doesn't feel good. I've thought about putting hinges in here, but just the way the MK85 armor is designed, the hinges don't work well. It's not the best system. So what I need to do is find a way to hold the bicep up, and it's probably gonna be a strap that comes on my shoulder or underneath my arm. I have some ideas in mind, and it's just improving on the strap system I already have, but we'll see how that goes. The shoes are shoes. Like I said, I'm short. I have those lifters in there. They're like 2 or 3 inch lifters, and they work out perfectly for me. The fronts work absolutely great, and you can see there's a little bit of damage here, and I'll talk about why I regret this so much in a little bit later. And I just need to finish and paint the back of this red, and then figure out a way to kind of keep it strapped on. It'll probably be some Velcro in the side, because right now it just slides around the shoe. And actually, the way it sits and the shin falls down, you actually really can't see any of this. You'll see a little bit of the strap, but it's actually hidden pretty well. And that's a problem I see with a lot of Ironman suits, honestly. I'll see people walking around, and something on their feet just fall apart. The straps and the buckles, and there's covers, and they just blow out, and you can either see their shoe underneath it, or it just kind of always draws my eye. Like, everything looks good, you're panning up, you're like, wow, that looks great, and you're looking down, and then their shoes and their shins and ankles are just a mess. So I'm really trying to mitigate that by keeping this nice and tight, and I can walk very nicely in these. They're actually pretty comfortable. I walked around the house in them for a few hours, just trying to test out if it would hurt the bridge of my foot at all, and they were absolutely fine. So getting into these isn't bad. The shoes, actually, I'm happy with. So these are my helmets. And I've talked about this before. This is the DO3D helmet, and it's a little skinny, it's a little thin. It looks good at certain angles. It really does on close exposure or, you know, really close zooms and stuff. But it's too narrow, and wasn't a fan of it. So I have the CG Trader helmet here still, and I was actually able to get it pretty well motorized. It's really just finishing it off now and fine-tuning it. And then I still need to find the nice red paint. It might not be too apparent in this shot, but this is the base red and this is the metallic red, and they're not too different. Maybe you'll be able to tell, but I basically still can't get my hands on this red because of the state of the world right now. The store that sells this isn't open. So this is a little bit on hold. I still need to nail down the electronics and finalize the motorization. It does open a little bit too much. I got to shorten the arms a little bit, and hopefully this will segue into a nice helmet motorization tutorial, because if you see, when it opens, you can see the whole widow's peak. I gotta shorten the arms. I have to shorten the servo arms a little bit, and then we have the travel arms, which these actually I think work out pretty good, because I only want it to open to about there. So, but the CG Trader helmet, this Akira Yuming helmet, the faceplate goes in and out perfectly. Everything lines up wonderfully. All right, so a big regret I have, and I kind of talked about it before, I rushed this project because I didn't think fitting was going to be this difficult. I got everything printed. I thought it fit well. I was happy with it. Went right into paint. I didn't fine tune the fitting first, and I'm paying for it. And I've learned my lesson, so that's what I'm applying to Star Boost now. What I should have done is printed everything out, fitted it, got everything nice and fit, perfect, worked out all the motions and gizmos and every bit of articulation, and then done the electronics. Just really nailed home, where do I want the electronics, where am I going to run the wires, all my gimmicks and gadgets and whatever the hell I needed to do, and then painted it. Paint should have been the last damn thing on my mind, but I wanted instant gratification. Who doesn't sometimes, you know? I wanted to see the project coming to life. The worst thing I could have done was done all that paint testing, nailed it, and then paint everything, which is exactly what I friggin' did. So now that I'm running into these little problems and errors and issues, fitment, adjusting, having to print entire new parts because things don't fit right, I have to be so much more careful with the paint. That's what happened with the shoes right there. I damaged the paint. It kind of cascaded. So this is the version 1 chest from DO3D, which the collar and the chest are one part. These are the version 2 abs. And as you can see underneath here, the chest plate kind of covers the side of the abs a good amount. These aren't meant to work with each other. They do though if you're kind of creative. However, this is the version 1 codpiece. It comes in 2 sections, the front cover plate and then the back butt plate. However, this doesn't really fit and line up well with this codpiece. It covers a lot on the side here, and it doesn't work well with the legs. It stuck out too far, and if this doesn't line up, the old butt plate doesn't line up at all. So what I decided to do was make this new secondary codpiece, and this is all one part, and it slides on basically like underwear. It is more restricting in the fact that I won't be able to use the bathroom in the suit, but you know what, I can hold it. But this is made actually to line up perfectly with the new abs. So it helps hide and cover everything way better. It helps cover up the sides much better, and everything just aligns way better with this new codpiece. However, when test fitting this, putting this on and then putting the legs on, because I had done all my leg strap adjustments with the old codpiece, I was able to pull these up a lot farther. There's a lot less area around the sides, so the whole thigh was able to come up my leg way farther than it was before. So then when I put this on, this actually started to hit and restrict, and I couldn't pull this up enough. And I actually ended up nicking and damaging the paint right up there on both spots. I'm mad about that. I'm gonna have to touch it up. We'll figure that out. That's a bridge we'll cross when we get to it. I actually damaged some paint back there because everything's painted, and now I have to be careful. But because of that, I was just trying to test fit things. I didn't notice how much damage I was doing to the thighs. So my dumbass went and put the shins on. And when I put the shins on, they subducted, they got kind of crushed and pushed down. I damaged the paint on both sides, and then in here got pushed down too much and damaged the shoe, and it scratched the paint. Now this paint is very durable. It's taken a lot to scratch this, but it doesn't matter. you know, car paint's durable, you can still scratch it. And I pushed it to its limit and I ended up scratching it. So I did damage to the suit. I'm mad. I hate talking about it, but I want my mistakes to be your guys' lessons. Now, I need to work on getting the thigh to slide up better because right now I can walk just fine if I don't have the codpiece on. These little tabs I made right here actually help keep the thigh in place while I'm walking. And I might try to move to some type of hinge system here. Just the way it fits my leg, I'd rather not. And the way I have to put it on, if I put it on by myself, I kind of need these to be in separate pieces. So we're going to see if I can kind of work my way around that. Because this just sits and free floats on the shoe, like so. It just kind of sits there. But now with the damaged front piece, I got to work some things out. And like I said, I'm really not that happy about it. But I'm trying to look on the bright side, you know. So this is kind of how everything was sitting. And as I walk, it moves just fine. And then I finally got these figured out, the Achilles heel area, the covers, and these move and articulate just fine. There's just some magnets in there that kind of hold them on, and it kind of pulls out, and there's a buckle in there. So I might have to fine tune and refine this. I really didn't want to have to fuse this part together. I didn't want to have to make this a permanent structure. I want to be able to take this out, but it might come to that. And then the knee is actually just kind of Velcroed on there, so it can move a little bit, and it wants to get pulled back. So this works out pretty good, and I can actually fit and slide my leg all the way through it. This is kind of what the inside of the back looks like with all the electronics, and it's a little bit of a mess. This has gone through a couple iterations. It's not the cleanest. This is a battery pack holder. These are relays for some of the electronics. This is the connector to my right arm. This is a connector to my left arm, and then I have a long wire harness that goes down each. I have to shorten those. I have to revise those. These are clips that hold the neck on. These are magnet alignment tabs that actually help line the chest up with the back. Actually, you can actually, they want to go to that spot, and it helps close up the gap pretty good. That's one of the problems everybody's had with the MK85 builds that I've seen, is just closing up this gap. It's hard to get around it, and then you can see the buckle right there that the shoulders hang off of. And this one started to rip because I just damaged it too much in repositioning it. But it works out pretty good. Now it's a matter of combining the back right here and getting it to wrap around me properly here. And I actually started with messing with some kind of buckle and strap system and magnets. I have to nail that down, and this way I can close up this gap that's on the side of me, and it has that nice seam line, because everything does line up nice. It's just getting it to be as close together as possible. What I actually thought about doing was printing out little covers right here that actually can sit on top of the shoulders that cover up the gap, little cover plates, because actually, if you look in some of the artwork, like that picture that's behind me, there actually almost looks like there's a plate up here that sits and kind of covers this muscle. So maybe I can play around with something like that to help hide the gap. But I'm basically, it sucks because I put a lot of work into making this wire harness look all nice and neat and running everything, the USB cable, the power cable to the front, and I'm pretty much going to need to gut all of it. So here are these are the buckles and straps right here that come over my shoulders and clip into the chest, and then these clip to the backpack part of the harness, and give you a better look at this, because a lot of people have been asking me about the harness system, and I'm actually pretty proud of this thing, that I was able to make this with just some Amazon parts. So this is my harness system. It's actually not that big or complicated at all. You can see the back. I made a Y system. This comes down. These two little back straps, and then these two little front straps hold the thighs up. And then when I slide the thigh up, and I won't be able to do it completely in shorts, but when I slide the thigh up, they buckle in here, and they buckle in the back. I don't know, these are actually thin shorts, so this worked out. There's my thigh actually on, and the weight's actually distributed to my shoulders, so that's just fine. And I can actually bend my leg pretty good. The back of the shins do hit when I'm actually like walking, but enough to stand. I can't sit. And then the new codpiece was just a little bit too low. It wanted to sink, so this got pushed down. But that's the strap system, and it holds just fine. I have a good amount of articulation in it. It's just getting everything to fit together, and then that comes down, easy. These are right here actually hold the back on, and all I do to put this on, throw this over, grab the two long ones, flip. That's that. So the back's on just fine. And it just sits there with these, and then these little clips right here clip the chest on. And then those magnets kind of pull in and align it. And like I said, it's getting this to kind of close in and sync up and actually be nice and fit. And that's really the whole harness system. Like I said, the arms are kind of free floating and they sit by themselves. That's just fine. And then I think off of here, I'm gonna try to attach something that helps hold the bicep up, because I think that would work out better. I gotta figure something out. I've seen a couple designs that use like cross brace strapping they want to kind of pull the bicep up. So we'll see how that goes. And yes, I do have 2 battery packs. I have my 5-volt battery pack that powers my servo, my helmet servo, and my LED eyes. And then this battery pack that sits here, which I'm gonna stop from moving around. I'm gonna put another strap or something here. This is a 12-volt battery pack, and this powers everything else. All the body lights, the infinity stones. So if I plug that in right there, they turn on just fine, on and off. And it powers them sufficiently. There's a jumper in here, and this goes, since this is the back, this comes forward, plugs in, and then this plugs into the chest. And this also runs power through the arms to the reactors, the repulsors, and the infinity stones. So they're 2 separate power systems. The reason being that if I drain this battery pack, say I'm at a Comic-Con and it does die, I will still have separate functionality of, since these are gonna be on constantly, well, the body lights are gonna be on all the time, except for the stones when I snap or whatever, and then the repulsors, they're gonna have the most drain. So I don't want them to use up all the power and then I lose the ability to open and close my mask and have the LED eyes on my mask. Because I still need to breathe. If the body lights turn off, okay, I can still open the mask, walk around, see. So that's kind of why I put 2 different systems on there. And they run on 2 different types of voltage. The servos, if I run 12 volts to the servos, it's not gonna be a good day. The mask opens way too quickly. This little 5-volt back works great for it. And then just take it off. It's literally 1, 2, and it comes off like a backpack. But if my motion is still restricted, there's 2 clips here, and it's literally just a band that goes around my back, and these are just looped around inside of each other, so they can be positioned anywhere I want. And then again, these just slide up with elastic, they close, and it's really just making the harness. This is all nylon strapping. It was very cheap. I think $5 for a whole roll, and I was able to do most of the suit. These clips, all these buckles and clips, they come in packs of like, I want to say 20 for a couple bucks on Amazon, and then it's just getting creative. And I like it. It's comfortable. Everything, nothing moves. Everything's nice and tight, or as tight as it needs to be. And you can adjust it to your body size. You can adjust it to your length. This, honestly, I probably should have made this a little bit lower. But if I make that lower, I need to shorten the straps on the thighs. So it works out well here. I'm okay with it. And it's not that complicated to put on. So goals moving forward from here is I need to finish trimming this, but I still don't have paint for it. I need to paint the helmet red. I'm gonna need to paint this completely red. This is a full red piece. And then I need to paint the Achilles heels covers, and then maybe the back of the shoe. The amount that the Achilles heel cover covers the shoe is actually pretty impressive. So I might not even need to do that. We'll see. Then it's the hinges. I need to fix the knees, and then I need to get a better system for the elbow. But I think if I can get the bicep to be held up by the strapping system, I'll be in business. I'm actually starting to wonder if I can hook it up to the shoulder. I was trying to avoid that, but maybe that is the solution. Because right now there's only 1 buckle in the shoulder, and it holds it right here, and then I can move free of motion. I'm wondering, I think I just solved this live on camera. I'm talking through some problems here. I'm wondering if I put another buckle right here and attach it to the outside of the bicep, that if I do that and kind of lift up, it'll want to take the bicep with it. I think I just figured that out. And actually that'll stop I have a problem right now with, if I move around too much, the shoulder plate kind of falls out of sync. That's why I added this little magnet strap, because it helps hold it forward when I lift my arm up. But, oh yeah, I think I just solved that. Neat. All right, guys, I think that kind of does it. That's kind of where I'm at with the suit. I'm not gonna lie, it's deterring. It sucks. It sucks to put this much work into something and then start running into these types of problems. And I really hope you guys watch this and you're like, man, I can avoid that now, That's the point of me putting these out. The mistakes I've made. If I was to do it, like I said, all again, print the damn suit, fit it. I mean, like Star Boost, it's coming out great. I have the whole upper body printed. This is the backpack, which is freaking awesome. Iron Man with a jetpack. I'm gonna be able to do like jumping jacks in this suit before I even think about sanding it, before I think about anything post-processing wise. I'm gonna fit the whole thing, and I'm already running into problems with fitment. It's an interesting suit, and it's gonna be an interesting build. But I'm kind of pausing on Star Boost for a little bit. I probably already have the whole suit printed, but I do have some other things going on. But Mark 85 is now priority one, because if you know really why this suit means so much to me, you know why I want to finish it. So yeah, if I could do it all again, I would print everything, fit it. I'd be able to do a lap around the block in the damn thing. Do your electronics, do all your motion, do all the, like I said, gizmos and gadgets, and then paint it. The paint should be the last thing. It just gives you so much less to worry about. And this way, if you have to reprint a part, you're not like, well, damn, I already have that part painted. Like, having to reprint the Codpiece kind of sucks, because that red paint that I'm now out of could have went right into my new helmet, and I wouldn't have a problem with it. I had to use a lot of red paint. It was a lot of surface area, just these big red parts. Yeah, I think I was able to condense this into one. If it's half an hour or less, yeah, this is one update video. Like I said, I think that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe. But if you probably got the notification for this, it's probably because you're already subscribed. So thank you. Thank you for following this whole build. I have a lot of cool plans for the continuation of the Mark 85 project. I'm going to be doing basically a video 0, Mark 85 update video 0. And that is going to be in the beginning of the series. Because when I started this project, there was so much I didn't cover, because there was so much I didn't know. And if you've already watched my Mark 39 Star Boost videos, I'm already being way more detailed in that first video than I ever was in the Mark 85 video 1, because I was new. This was my first build. So what I want to do is make a video. It's going to be video 0, and it's going to be talking about expectations for the project. It's going to be a little bit more in depth on what types of printers you should use, filament costs, material costs. I have saved every roll of filament I have used for all of my projects, but I know particularly what I used for the Mark 85. I have every can of spray paint. I have a good Amazon list of everything I used, buckle, strap, electronics wise. So I have a very good calculation into, hey, this is what you need to expect. If you're doing this yourself, this is how much your printers are going to cost. These are the recommended ones. So it's going to be a preparation video. So it might not apply to some of you who have been following this already, because you kind of get, you see me go through it, but somebody else finding these videos saying, I have no idea how to start, because in my first update video 1, I was a little naive. I was happy, and I'm still happy to do this, but there was just so much I didn't know and so much I wasn't prepared for. So I'd really like to be able to get people into it. And also, my production quality has gone up a lot, so video 1 is not a good reflection of where we've come to. So it'd be nice to warn people, like, hey, I know this video looks great, make it through the next 3, and I promise it gets better. So thank you again for watching. If you want to go talk more about the cosplay, 3D printing, Ironman, Marvel, nerd crap, I have a Discord channel. There's a link down below. Join that. It's free. Talk to people way smarter than me, and there's a lot of cool. There's already over 100 people on the Discord just talking about all this nerd stuff and giving suggestions, advice, helping each other out. I'm on there almost every day, so come talk to me there. If I don't answer there and you want it to be private, hit me up on Instagram, hit me up on Twitter, or you can actually message me on the Discord privately. If these videos have been helping you and you like what I'm doing and you appreciate this, I did just launch a Patreon account. There's a link down below. Go take a look at it, because I have a lot of projects going on. It'd be cool to start being able to fund those better without having to constantly print and make helmets to sell. So just go take a look. There's some cool bonus stuff. I won't be detracting any tutorials or information that I'm already giving you. So if you're not interested in that, that's totally fine. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, real quick, if you guys are interested in any Do3D files, the Mark 85 files, anything that's on do3dforum.com, I have a discount code, FBT, frankly built, FBT20, and it gets you 20% off your entire purchase. So if you want to buy $1,000 worth of files, it'll save you $200. And as far as I know, the code's good forever. Go use it, buy STL files, abuse it maliciously. I don't care. I want to give back to you guys, and Do3D was cool enough to give me this code, so go and use it. There's a link for that down below, the actual website, and I'll leave the code down below, and it's right here on the screen because I can edit now. Yeah, go and use that. All the links are down below. Just go take a look at them. Thank you. Thank you. I love this. I love this stuff so much. Thank you for watching. This is a long video. Have a good day.